When?
Okay. So how many of you cook with fresh garlic? Good. How many of you buy the jar? It's okay. You can admit it. Okay. The big jar. Okay. Like I told you, I am Italian by blood. My mother is the Irish one, but she's the one that cooks Italian. And so when I first started using the garlic press, I was like, Mom, you cannot use that jar stuff anymore. Like that was like, a staple and everything. And if you ever actually look at that jar, the stuff on the sides, the preservatives that keep that garlic fresh forever, look way too much like formaldehyde. Okay, they're like something eyed. Okay, so you don't want to use that. Fresh garlic is really pretty cheap. Wanda, do you remember how much you paid for this? It's like, yeah, it's really cheap, 59 cents, 69 cents. I know I've gone to Vita's before and bought 6 for $1.99. So even if I don't use all 6, it's totally fine. Another thing I do with garlic is I didn't know how to buy it. Okay, so the first time I ever went there, I just grabbed one. So over time, I've learned how to buy things. You know, you learn to bump a melon, squeeze a tomato, whatever. With garlic, what you're going to do is you're going to smell it. If it smells like nothing or dirt, it is good. Okay, that means it's fresh. If it smells like garlic, it is past its prime. Okay, if it's growing things, it is past its prime. Do not bring that home, okay? Now, I also like to pick my garlic, like I pick my men's undies, white, tight, and snug. Okay, so that's how you know when you go to the store. Next time you look at the garlic, you're going to laugh and think about me being crazy. And she said, what? You make them like your men's undies? All right, so white, tight, and snug, not growing anything, nice and hard. That's how you pick your garlic. Now, I will also tell you, the first time I was looking for those Roma tomatoes that were really plum tomatoes or whatever, it also called for 2 cloves of garlic. I bought 2 of these. Alright, so those of you who are my hunter cooks to me, you know what mistake I made. And my husband was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I said 2 cloves. And he's like, that's a bowl. And I'm like, I didn't know. We didn't have YouTube to look up stuff back then, okay? So with the garlic, those of you who've never seen fresh garlic, you just kind of pull some of this paper off, and then you break apart the garlic, okay? So this is a clove of garlic. This is a bowl. Okay. Garlic does like to be stored in a cool, dark place. I have a little terracotta pot in my kitchen, and it actually is a garlic container. It has little slits in it, but it likes to be cool and dark, so you can just put it in something like that. What you do with our garlic press is actually you don't have to take any of his clothes off. You leave him just like that with his outer shell on. You put him inside the garlic press, and I usually try to turn it so that it is like hump side up, if that makes sense there. All right? So then you take it, and you're just going to squeeze it, little brains out, just like you were squeezing it like Play-Doh right out when you were a kid. All right, so there comes out our garlic. You notice it's shot everywhere right like that. And then it comes with a little tool. Now this is Ken's brush because Barbie's would be pink. Okay, this is Ken's. And this, I take this little tool and I clean off my garlic like that, get that in there. Then when I'm done with it, there's more garlic right there, and then the peel is down inside here. So I just get rid of that. I didn't even have to touch it. All right, is there anybody in the room that's like me that if I touch it, I'm going to smell like it for days? And you're like, I can still smell that garlic. All right, so what you also can do is this is stainless steel. So underneath the sink on the cold water, rub on the garlic press underneath your sink, and it will take the smell out of your hands. Okay, also if you have a stainless steel sink, you can rub your hands inside the sink and take the smell out. So there's a quick little tip for you. Double duty with that tool, that you can press your garlic and you can clean your hands with it. Some people like to use lemon or things like that. I just use the press itself. I also, when I get home, I'm going to open this up, put it right on the top shelf of my dishwasher, put this little tool in the rack, and clean it just like that. So I don't have to worry about trying to hand wash it. Now, if you do want to hand wash it, it's funny, my parents said the reason they had kids is so they could have dishwashers. They still, after 40 years of marriage, don't have a dishwasher. And so she's like, well, I can't do that. I said, well, that's okay, because this little brush fits in all these little holes right here, and you can clean it out. Okay, so that's what the purpose of these little bristles are, is to clean those little holes out. So that is our garlic press, the tool that I absolutely love. Now we do have 2 other tools that are on the same page of the garlic press. What page? 53. 53, thank you. Now one is called the garlic slicer, and it is almost just like the spiral and slice, except you're going to peel your garlic with the garlic peeler, which is right next to it. You roll your garlic on the ground, on the table right there. You put your garlic in there. The shell comes off. You slide up to 4 pieces of garlic in there, 2 on either side, and then you twist it and turn it, and it shoots out just like these cucumbers did. So depending on the flavor you want to achieve with your garlic is how you're going to manipulate it. So to release the most flavor, you're going to press it. All right, that's how we got a lot of flavor. If we wanted less flavor, we would slice it. And if we wanted less flavor, we would leave it whole for whatever we're doing. So some people like to put it in, like, say, their sauce and then pull the garlic out. I don't know why you would do that, but just in case you wanted to, you can do that. Or like if you were flavoring something. Also, we have a garlic and brie baker that you could put the whole bowl in the garlic and brie baker, and then you could roast it in there too. So if you like roasted garlic, that's really fun. And then what happens is basically it comes out and you can smash it and it just kind of falls apart. And we have a garlic smasher that makes paste in the Kellogg too, and it just rocks. And so you can rock that garlic and just make that paste right out of that. So if you are a garlic lover, we've got some tools for you. If you have that jar, I encourage you to go home and throw it away. And get a garlic press and go buy one of these and start making some fresh garlic. Alright, so before we pick back up with our introductions, let's take this cream cheese mixture that has our garlic, our dill, our mayo and such, and we're going to put it on our crescent rolls. And I'm using one of my scrapers here. Now, we call these scrapers, okay? They are not spatulas. It depends on, you know, what side of the fence you're on, I guess, with that. Now, I call these my Baywatch babes because they're all silicone up top, if you guys remember Baywatch. And this is Pamela. She's the biggest. And I use these for everything. I have multiple colors. They've been out in the years. I've had aqua, I have pink, I have all the different colors. But I absolutely love this size, probably the best. This is actually considered the small mixing scraper, kind of like a spoon. And so I can really get everything in a bowl. You'll see when we make the cake in a few minutes, I can do that. Some things about these is they do not come apart. Ugh. You can get them apart. They don't rip. They don't stain. They can go, in your dishwasher. One thing I do recommend is when you put them in the dishwasher, put them handle side down, because if you accidentally put a knife beside it, you don't want to slice it. That is probably one thing that somebody has realized, well, my scraper's gone apart. And I'm like, you probably put it next to a knife. But these things last forever, and they're just great. So they're silicone. They are actually cookware safe. You can cook on your stovetop with these. Okay, so these are safe up to 600 degrees. We actually baked them in a cake one time just to test that theory out. So it came out just fine. Another thing I wanted to teach you is just in general when you're shopping, a lot of tools actually have this little circle on the back. You probably will have never noticed it before, but now that when you get home, you'll start noticing it on different things. Who's got some good eyesight today? Anybody got some good eyesight? You can look at this. We got some good eyesight. All right. Well, you tell me where the arrow is pointing. Down. Down to what number? 1. Okay, and then what's the number on either side of the arrow?
1 and 7.
1 and 7. 1 and 7? Oh, I'm sorry, don't say no. Let's try that again.
Now which way is the arrow pointing? Now it's pointing up.
Okay.
It's 10.
10, okay, now what's on the other side of the arrow?
0 and 7.
0 and 7. Okay, this was manufactured in 10/07. October 2007 is when this was manufactured. Okay, so you can go home and start looking at some of your stuff, and that's like how you guys know. Now, obviously, I didn't buy it in the same month it was manufactured, but I try to just give you a little bit of a testimony how much and how long these babies last. You can buy, 3 of these from Walmart in the same, and then you'll have spent the same amount that it would have just cost you to buy 1 from Paper Chuck. I absolutely love these scrapers. So we have a few that have added to the selection. You'll notice this one is actually cobalt blue, and it's not covered in cream cheese. And that is our new color for the fall. And I'll tell you there's some other things coming out in the future that are in cobalt. And so this one actually looks like this, another cream cheese. All right, so these come in white or in blue. And the other ones are all white. And then my other one that I absolutely love, this is the ultimate peanut butter and jelly maker. Okay, this is called a scoop and spread. So you can scoop out your peanut butter, you can then spread it, and then you can cut it. Because it has this nice serrated edge here. So I absolutely love this. If you're an outdoors person and you take peanut butter with you on your next camping trip, you need one of these. Okay, this is great to have like in your lunch, like if you have a kitchen in your lunch area, it's great for everybody to use there. So I absolutely love that tool there. I'm trying to think what else I have to say about my scrapers. I guess that's it for right now.
Page 51.
Page 51, scraper collection. Thank you. All right, so we're just going to use this to spread our cream cheese mixture out. And our crescent rolls have cooled so that we don't have to worry about like this melting this cream cheese too quickly. Yes.
She asked if you knew about that on thing.
Yes. Yes, yes, they don't scrape. So yes, when I cook with my Paper Chuck cookware, I switch between nylon tools, which is something like this, and silicone tools. So those are the 2 things that you want to use on a on cookware that is coated. Yes, so it will not scratch them. All right, so we've got our cream cheese mixture here, all spread out. and ready to go. Now what it says to do next, and I'm sure this is in no particular order, but we're going to go ahead and put our chicken on there because it's been cooling there for a while. And where did I put it? Oh, right here. All right, so let's grab our chicken, grab another scraper, and we just sprinkle that on nice and cut up. This recipe originally called to use canned chicken, but I think this is so much better. So you got to see the baker in action, and then also it smells and tastes better because we seasoned it with some garlic and herb rub. So like I said, we did the dill in the cream cheese, and I never thought, I guess I even knew what dill was until I had this recipe, and I'm like, oh, it actually tastes kind of good all mixed in there like that. All right, so as you can see, our baker cleans up so nicely. The more you use your stoneware, the more seasoned it becomes, and the more non-stick it becomes. So this is actually a fairly new baker, and it is very light in color. Did you notice my stone is a lot darker in color? I've used this for a lot more, because I actually just had to replace this a couple months ago. I was actually in a car accident, and the impact cracked my stone. So, but the top I nest right inside, and I store it just like this at my house. I absolutely love that. Now, what's one thing we never, ever put on stoneware? Soap. We never clean it with stoneware or soap. So what we do use is a little pan scraper. This comes with every single stone that you get. If you lost it, we can order you some more. And I just some elbow grease.
What does the soap do to it?
The soap actually gets back into the pores, and you don't want that to bake back into your food. All right, soap in actuality is a degreaser. All right, do you remember the Exxon commercials where they were washing the little duckies and they're using soap? They're using usually Dawn, and then you see the commercial where they drop the soap in there and the grease goes like that. That's what soap is. Soap is a degreaser. All right, what we're doing with the hot water in the scraper is we're creating friction that's going to get rid of all the other stuff that's left behind. So, and you can also rest assured that the next time you use it, it's going to be baked or microwaved, so if there was anything left, that it would get rid of it. But usually what I do is I take this home, I run it under some hot water. If there was anything like left on it, I might let it sit for a little bit. I also have a kitchen brush that's in the catalog, and it actually has, it's white, and it has a little bit of this bevel, like this kind of a head thing on the head, and I can scrub it with the brush, and then I can also scrape with the other side of it. So it's a really handy tool to have in your kitchen as well. All right, so we've got our chicken. We're going to add some of our tomatoes. Those of you who don't like them, they're big enough that you can take off. But we de-seeded them all, and I sliced and diced them while you guys were doing some introductions. All right, put them all on there. And then we've got our cucumbers. Now, it will be super fun to watch you guys eat these slinky of a cucumber. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to chop a few up so that we don't have slinkies. That will be really fun seeing you guys slurp them up. So we'll just chop a few here. Now you'll notice I have some flexible cutting mats here. These are really handy, especially if you're a rule follower. The red is for beef, the yellow is for chicken, and the green is for vegetables, and they come together in a set. This is actually the small ones, and I take these to shows just because they're nice and handy. And they fit in my bag wonderfully. But especially if you guys are like beach people and you like to do some outdoorsy things in the summer, these can fit like right in your cooler, like if you needed to chop up some, fruits and veggies for whatever your needs may be. Sometimes we stay all day and I need to cut up fruit or whatever for the kids. So this is a great little tool there. They do have larger ones. They are dishwasher safe. They aren't meant to last forever. You'll see that you can see kind of the scratches in mine, and that is good because they give to your knives. When you have a cutting board such as glass, it does not give to your knife, and so it dulls your knife as you use it. So our cutting boards, both the white ones, the ones that are the professional grade white ones, and these, they give. So that's why you see scratches in them, but they are also dishwasher safe, so you just pop in the dishwasher. For those of you who are really anal, it has inches and centimeter measurements on there, so if you wanted to cut your cucumber at every centimeter increment, you could totally do that too. All right, so those are really fun to have. And occasionally we roll them out and let kids play with Play-Doh on them or whatever we're doing. So they are multi-purpose there.
Page 28.
Page 28. Thank you, Page Master. All right, so we're going to now add our bacon that I've misplaced. So we're going to take our bacon. We have our prep bowl again. It's all cut up here. And we're going to slice and dice this so that we can sprinkle this on top. Basically, we made our own little bacon bits that we can put there on top. And I'll do the other bacon here in a second. But I wanted to show you, too, before we do some more bacon, is my graters. All right, now these are the two graters that are in the catalog. Go ahead and tell me what page number the microplane graters are on. 24. Anybody have these already at home? 20. Okay, good. I can teach you guys something else for tonight. All right, so with the graters, by show of hands, you can admit this, I won't tell on you. How many of you buy bags of shredded cheese? It's easy, right? It's pretty easy. You can just buy it, pour it in, whatever. Have you ever noticed, especially on the cheddar, which is darker for you and you're easier to see, the white powder that is on your cheddar cheese? Do you guys know what that is? It is something called cellulose. By definition, is wood pulp. Okay? So look at the bag the next time, you will see that. Cellulose sounds too close to cellulite in my book. I do not need any more of that in my diet. But cellulose is put on the cheese to keep it from clumping and to keep it lasting longer. What's that? It's a preservative, yes. Okay, so when you're using your cheese, if you have a bag of cheese and you used it, you put it back in the fridge, a couple days later goes by, you open it again, there's some green fuzzy stuff in there. What do you have to do with that bag of cheese? To throw it away. But if you had a block of cheese, what do? You cut it off, and you keep on going, right? So if you were to take an 8-ounce bag of cheese and an 8-ounce block of cheese and actually shred that block, you would have over 50% more cheese than if you would just use that bag. You also would have a better cheese that melts better. Even if it's like the cheapest brand, it's still going to melt better than the stuff that's in a shredded cheese. I make a homemade mac and cheese that is a top secret recipe. I can't tell you, but if you look at Mueller's.com, you'll be able to find it. And that's like when we go to like potlucks or anything, that's like the dish they know me to bring is the mac and cheese. So we shred all of the cheese with our shredder, our microplane adjustable grater. This is the coarse one. We use this for hard cheeses. We're going to use that tonight with our coarse. With our cheddar. Also for your mozzarella, we do a big Italian dinner usually on Christmas Eve. And so we were doing stuffed shells, and I was like, well, I think I'm just going to go buy the cheese on that. I'm like, no, you are not using bag cheese. We are going to shred the cheese. And it's funny because everybody's like, this tastes so much better. And I'm like, it's the cheese. Because I shredded it. And also with your fine grater, this is what you would use with your Parmesan, because it's a hard cheese. I also use it for zesting, if you do lemons and limes and things, and you like to zest for like baked goods or whatever, maybe a main dish. I actually don't even own the zester. I use this instead. The zester is, if you look at it really close in the catalog, the holes are exactly the same. It just, this has more surface area. So for doing two different things, I like this. I usually hold the fruit in my hand and just roll it back and forth like this and let the zest collect right here and then put that in whatever I need. For Parmesan, I just put it right over top and it falls out like snowflakes. And so you're very Betty Crocker that way. And then you can actually put the little guard on and you can fill it with chocolate chips and then shred that on top and it's like chocolate snowflakes going on top of your dessert. So next time you ice a cake, just put a little bit more like chocolate chips on there, and you'll just think you're just so awesome. But we're going to use this one when we grab our block of cheese. And I now only buy a block of cheese. We keep like, I don't know, 4 different brands of cheese or different flavors of cheese at my house. We keep not only cheddar, but I have one kid that likes pepper jack. I have one that likes Swiss, and then my husband likes sharp cheddar. I prefer mild cheddar. So we just buy them all and keep them in there and use them for whatever meal. So I only buy this and use it. So usually when I open it, I leave the wrapper kind of on. I just grab the block of cheese and then I just shred right over top. So taco night, tacos, the cheese melts so nicely on top of our tacos, enchiladas, nachos, whatever we're doing. Like I said, it makes the best mac and cheese to have your shredded cheese. Remember about the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches I was telling you guys about? I do this cheese, whoever, depending on what kid it is, whether they get this or pepper jack or whatever. So depending on what they want, we do that. So I just put this cheese right on top. And cheese is one of those things that I don't measure. There are 4 things in my kitchen that I don't measure: chicken, chocolate, cheese, and calories. So if you're counting calories, you probably shouldn't come to my house. But I just think you can't go wrong with adding more cheese. It's just going to taste better. So we put as much cheese on the top of that as we want. And then you just take your grater and put it right in the dishwasher when I'm done. The reason it's adjustable is because you can make it cheapy. If you are dead set on having that knuckle grinding thing, you can do that. I usually don't. I usually do it straight, right into a bowl, right on top of my food, and then it stores flat. And then these little covers come with it. So you just click that right on because you would hate to like accidentally go across it in your cabinet or wherever and take some skin off. That would hurt. So yes, we don't want to do that. Now, when in the catalog, you'll see the fine does come with the grater, or comes with the plunger or holder, if you will. The large one, the coarse one, the holder was an afterthought. So you can either buy it with the holder, or you can buy it just like this. So notice that that's on your wish list tonight. I will ask you to make sure, do you want it with the holder, or do you want it just by itself? I can also tell you I only use the holder every once in a while. I end up just using it like this majority of the time. But they did put the holder in there separately for people who already had this, and then later on they wanted to add that holder. So I absolutely love that. So in addition, some other tools we're going to use, I'm going to use my pizza cutter to cut this in up. Our mini serving spatula, I'm sure half of you have this, right? Don't ever take this to a potluck because it won't come back. I absolutely love this for serving that up. And actually this month, when you spend $60 before shipping and handling, you can pick one of our servers for free. You can either get the mini serving spatula, great little thing to add on. If you don't need it, re-gift it. Or you can get the large serving spatula. This is a great little thing too. I love that there's nice beveled edges so I can actually cut with this if I need to. We have a joke in our house that you have to even everything up. So, like those brownies that are sitting on my stove right now, they probably have been evened up multiple times. So I love that. And then this serrated slice and serve I love too. So if you're like a pie person, you can cut it, or quiche, you know, for the breakfast, you can cut right with this and then serve. I actually, when we vacation with these other families in Next Head every year, I took a couple of my tools because I just was like, you never know what the kitchen's going to have down there. So I took some tools, and I had this out. We had like key lime pie or whatever. So I left this out. One of the guys that was there, he's like a little brother to me, so he's a couple years younger, but he's in his 20s. And he's like, I don't know about that paper chef stuff that you sell because that pie server does not cut. And I was like, what? He's like, it did not cut. Like, I don't, and he grabbed it, he goes, I don't know what's wrong with it. And I was like, does that work? And he's like, oh, okay. So this leads me to a couple of things that Paper Chef has. We have replacement parts. So, like, I have lost one of these before. Like, I've either left it at a show, it's actually gotten to the heating element in my dishwasher. But we do sell these. It's actually a separate order from your order here tonight, but I can have it directly shipped to your house if you're missing things like this to your pie server, your pizza cutter. Those are two of the most common ones. The other most common one is the little tool that comes with the garlic press. And sometimes you just get left places, or something happens to them, they disappear. But I love how they protect our sharp stuff, because you never know, like, Wanda has her tools turnabout out, I have tools turnabout out, and who's going to walk past it and accidentally hurt themselves. So they make sure they cover that, so you don't have to worry about that. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut this up and serve it. We're going to do some more introductions. I'm going to have Rochelle push